know that one. Okay, come on. This is gonna cut off. This is gonna cut off before we finish.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. Wait.
What are we talking about? What are we even talking about here?
What are we even talking about? I got joy. Listen. I got
I'm about to
joy,
change this a little bit.
joy.
It's not just last one. For the last.
Thinking about what
2
he's
weeks.
done for me. I get
ask the
joy
question.
just thinking about what he's done for me.
Okay.
Are we ready?
We are ready. We are ready.
And we are ready. Yes, we are. We are ready. We are ready. Here we go. Give me a clap.
We have not.
I'm already
crying.
there, y'all. I serve a mighty God who is good to me. He sits on high and looks down low and brings
crying.
me joy. All right. Who are you this week?
I'm Rose.
And I'm Dorothy.
I'm from St. Olaf. Picture it.
1937.
Leslie.
Oh, God, that's so good.
But we're also the Joy RX.
Where we prescribe joy as a therapeutic tool.
Absolutely. So we are, in addition to giggling uncontrollably, we are also continuing our series on attitude and mindset.
We are, and we didn't talk about this week's joy.
Oh, man. I mean, we could have still.
We could have linked it in.
We could have linked it in. Okay, this week's joy. This week's joy.
This week's joy.
This week's joy.
So my daughter was just sitting here with us, and she's lovely. Can I just say that?
She's lovely.
She's lovely.
Just lovely.
Shout out to me and Greg Davson.
Okay.
Because we've raised a
done a good
lovely
thing.
child. But she just randomly asked. She said, Auntie Eve, Mommy, do you all think that you would have this much joy if you did not do this podcast? And we were like, I said, I don't know 5 years ago. No, I don't know who I was 5 years ago, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it was the same.
Yeah, I don't think that I would have been able to do this 5 years ago. But I said, absolutely within the last year, our joy has been off the charts. And she said, yeah, this is the happiest I've seen y'all.
Wow.
Man.
And I feel like we've been happy at different times, but I mean, this is it. That is something.
But someone who's seen us since our 20s,
Yeah.
you know, and she's
Yeah.
like, well,
This is the
I think you're
happiest I've
onto
seen
something, y'all. Like, I think you've got your joy here.
I think she's right.
I think she's
that
absolutely
ties
right.
into my joy for the week. I won't give all of the detail. Of course, my bestie here knows it, but I've made some decisions recently to kind of to declutter some things, right? And decluttering can mean a lot of things. It could be difficult because we form attachments to our items. We form attachments to people. And it's not just, toxic, horrible people. Sometimes you just have to declutter. You have to really be like, is this thing, this person, this relationship, anything, is it bringing me joy? And if not, let me at least kind of reassess the space that it takes. And I think that's why we are happier now. I think we have shed. I think we have just let some leaves go and just grown anew. And I think that is necessary sometimes to just strip down and not try to figure out a way to put that thing back on. Let it go.
Ooh,
Let it go. Stand naked or
set it
put
free.
and put something else on. And thank it for the role that it had in your life. And I think we have done that over the
You
past
got to
few
Marie Kondo
years.
that
We got to
thing.
Marie
Just
Kondo
look at
it.
it. Thank
you for the
being
role that
here.
you played.
Now I set you
And
free.
and relinquishing those attachments can be so challenging because we really can feel like we're addicted to
Oof.
them. People, it could be, folks think they're only addicted to like substances. You can be addicted to attention. I mean, there's just so many things to which you can be addicted. And I think we have, in addition to adding the joy, we've made room for joy, if that makes sense. We've made room for joy by getting rid of some particular things. And I think that has just freed us in some way.
Oof.
And I'm proud of us for that.
Ooh, I'm gonna cry on this here. I talked last week
Listen,
about
you
crying.
watched
I'll go
last
and
week, she was
I'll
saying
cry
that.
for anything.
Listen,
That's a good word, though. Yes, proud, because sometimes that's a difficult decision to say, I'm going to choose my joy even over comfort. That's real good, y'all.
Because the comfort isn't long lasting. It's a pseudo comfort. It's a Band-Aid. It's a slight shrug when what you need is a whole blanket.
What
it's
it
not
really
keeping you
is
warm.
it's what I've
You
just
know?
gotten used to. And I've told myself this is comfortable.
Yeah. But is it healing? Is it really bringing joy? And I think that has been such a big part of our last couple of years, would you say? Just
So good.
she was talking about cleaning her space. She was like a spring cleaning in a real way. Like, have you ever really done that? Like, really go through your closet and be like, I'm getting rid of stuff, and then it's just clean and open. You can lay down in there. Lay down in the closet. I
You
didn't know
can
I
go
had a floor.
shopping in your closet
didn't know I
because you
had a
forgot
floor
you
in
had.
here. Going up underneath your cabinets and be like, why is this still here? Just hair products.
That's real good.
Just weird stuff that you're like,
real
I don't
good.
even need this anymore. I went under there. I had all these hot combs and stuff like that in the box because I think we all know that I don't straighten my chemically or
Not
even
never.
with heat. So just in case I might. But I had several of them.
It's that. Why do we do
packaged.
that? Why do we do that with stuff? I'm gonna keep this outfit just
keep
in case I'm
just
this
in
size
case.
again.
If I'm back down to that size, I deserve a new outfit. If I get back, I said that when I was giving away clothes this last time. I said, if I get back down to a size, how dare I put an old outfit on? If I get back down to this size, baby, I deserve a whole new shopping spree.
So go on ahead and just put that out.
Let
Set
that go.
that free and let somebody else
Let that
enjoy
go.
it.
It ain't nothing but a little old white shirt. It's not even like something fancy.
That's the thing. Well, when I get back
Little
down to
work
that size,
outfit.
I'm gonna need something new. Is what you gonna need.
Yeah. You work on just the other part first.
That's so
Let it
good.
go.
Ooh,
So that's
good.
my joy for the week because we've been really talking about that this week, specifically about just having some difficult conversations and really decluttering.
Ooh, I love it. I love where spring is about to take us.
Oh, that's a good sentence even. I love where spring is about to take us. Come on, sunshine. Burr, burr, burr. Burr, burr, burr.
Everybody loves the sunshine.
Hey.
Hey, feel what you feel when you feel it. Hey,
In the sunshine.
Hey, pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew. This gonna be a good one. I got it today.
It's gonna be good.
All right, so
okay,
we are
now
going.
we're continuing
Now we are ready.
our series on attitude and mindset.
Yes, attitude and mindset is the set of ways you choose to think and feel about things and how it is reflected and manifested in your personality. It is how one's worldview manifests in one's personality and behavior.
Mhm.
All right. So for the last 2 weeks, we asked the question, what does your attitude and mindset tell you about you?
Mhm.
And we mentioned some things you should do so that you can keep a healthy mindset about yourself. So,
Yes. So this week we're really going to focus on mindset only, because I even talked to folks too. Like, I'm trying to change my attitude and mindset. You know, when we combine these together, they're like, "What is the difference between the two?" So we're going to spend this week literally talking about mindset. Next week we'll be talking about attitude specifically. So mindset, and going back to our definition, it's the set of ways you choose to think and feel about things. It is what determines, right? It determines how you perceive the world. It's your lens, right?
yes.
It's your set of thoughts. And quite frankly, it's that subconscious mind, it's about, power is kind of 95% out of of the way that we behave. So when we're out here saying, "Oh, that wasn't really me," I don't know why I was so outside of myself. No, it probably reflects some places in the mindset. It's true.
Yes. You determine one's mindset by asking questions.
Right.
It's not something necessarily that you're going to see
Mhm.
because someone can change their behavior for their attitude
Mhm.
before whatever is going on in their
Yeah.
mind
Yeah.
comes out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's a thing that you find out once you've kind of probed a little bit.
Mhm. One of the most important things I think we've discussed thus far already, and we just want to remind everybody of it, is that your mindset stays with you until you change it.
Yep.
It is the same mindset you had whenever, until you have been intentional about changing it.
But a positive mindset is going to help you reach your goals, and a negative mindset is going to hold you
Mm-hmm.
back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is why, we've been pressing during this season of attitude and mindset to not so much focus on the things you cannot change, but focus on the things that you can create. That's different than change, right? Because we're still looking to take the same old thing and like, maybe I can just repurpose the same old thing. How about we just get a new,
Yeah.
drop a new?
Just out of the ether,
Yeah.
whatever it is that I decide that I
Let's
want to have,
design something else.
just create it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. It can be changed with practice and effort.
Right.
We're not saying that you're going to wake up tomorrow a totally, different person.
Right.
No. But what we're saying, with a lot of thought, with some determination, doing things deliberately, you can change your mindset.
And I think we talked about this last week, people can believe they have a positive mindset. We even talked about like, okay, here's some markers, right? Here's some litmus tests, do you have a positive or a more negative mindset? And I think we have to get clear about that. There are these places from which we get or build these mindsets. One can be our fears. Things that we're really scared of, that we're worried about, that we, have a sense of dread or anxiety toward. Those are things that will set our mindsets. If we're afraid of being alone, right, we will have a particular mindset about relationships. If we're afraid of succeeding, we will have a particular mindset about our effort toward,
Well, sabotage.
right, being better in some particular ways. And so what we're suggesting, if, because we develop mindsets sometimes out of fear, go and embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, don't run from the fear. What is it? What am I afraid of?
Get very clear about what your mindset is,
Yeah.
and figure out, how did my fears
Mm-hmm.
shape this?
Mm-hmm.
Is this really what I believe, or is this what my fears are telling me to believe?
Right. Is pain and disappointment, are those the things that are coloring how I see the world now?
Right. Right. Because what you can do is discover how you can use these kind of negative things, right? The pain, the failure, the disappointment. How do you learn to live from them?
And still have joy. And still have joy.
Because you have experienced them. We're not saying that you did not.
Sure.
But what happens is that we hold on to the fear of that coming again, and then it determines how we're going to do everything, every single thing. So what we want to do is get very clear about, did I develop my current mindset from a place of fear?
Mm-hmm. And in Ganua Kabili Ma'a, I think I'm saying that the right way. That means, although I am full of fear, I'm going
I'm
anyway.
going anyway.
I'm going. Do it. Do it. I'm
Here's the
scared.
thing.
Do it scared.
Here's the thing. You actually
I
cannot
understand.
be brave unless you
Without
have
fear.
fear.
Yeah. If you're fearless, there's no bravery.
You're not brave.
There's no bravery there because you didn't. That didn't
Bravery
scare you.
means I was scared of the thing
afraid.
and I went flat-footed and stood there
I went
anyway.
right on in there anyway. Right. And you can have joy and fear at the same time.
Yeah.
And I
Ooh.
think we think it's one or the other, but I'm scared. That's fine. We can have both of them. You can stand at the edge of the deep water and know that you've been practicing the dives and be a little bit scared about doing the dives, but be so proud of yourself that you're about to just press yourself to jump in.
That makes me think of that Sarah Bareilles song. Everybody's been there. Everybody's been stared down by the enemy. What did she say?
I only know
Say
that.
what you want to say and let your words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just go on. You know what I mean? Like, just go ahead. Well, I love when they have, you know what, we like Marvel and fandom. We're a fandom fantasy Dragon Con type of people, right?
That.
Game of Thrones, you know what I'm saying? If it's got a costume, we like it. Remember when we did like that Lord of the Rings? We just did like a Lord of the Rings lock-in. What? Like, can you imagine? What are you ladies
Just
doing
sat
this
in my
weekend?
house.
Are you partying? You know, where you gonna be at the lit brunches? No, we're going to watch all
Every
of the
single
token.
one. The
We're
Hobbit,
we're gonna
Lord
just
of the
we
Rings.
just watched all of them, and then we
Yeah.
we just went in, right? So that's who we are. But I love the ones that show heroes who are afraid, right? I
That's
love it
real
when heroes
good.
they're like, "You're not nervous? Oh, I'm super nervous, but we getting ready to go." I love it. Oh, I'm super nervous. Nobody said they weren't afraid. That's why embrace
is
it.
correct.
Sure. And embracing it means understanding that a lot of what you're thinking about, your mindset about a thing, is coming from out of that fear.
Yeah.
You think that group of people are mean because you fear them being mean to you. You've compared yourself to them. People always think that, like, you know, folks they find really attractive are automatically mean. You ever hear that before? Like, wow, you're really attractive to be nice. Really nice to be cute. What?
Yeah.
You assume that people we're going
Yes.
to treat you poorly.
And here's the thing too. When you create your mindsets from a place of fear, you are doing it to protect yourself. And I promise you, whatever you are developing to protect yourself is keeping out the
Yep.
thing that would heal you.
You're stunting yourself. You're presenting more obstacles, actually.
I want you to listen. I've tried it. And I know. Well, I'm scared. I'm scared of being in a relationship with someone. I'm scared that they're going to hurt me like my last relationship. That relationship right there could heal you and show you that there's another level of love. It may not be the one that you're going to be with forever.
Sure. It still may show you that thing.
It still may show you that.
It may
It's
show you
on
that
your
you're
path.
capable of loving the way you didn't,
Yep.
you know, in a way you didn't know. All right. When my students are like, I just don't know. I may not apply to graduate school this year. Well, why not? I may not get in. Or I said, well, you're definitely not going to get in if you don't apply. You're guaranteed. If you don't apply, I promise you won't get in. That is a 100% sure. Now, you have some nervousness about what percent, you know what I mean? Like, how likely is it I'm going to get in? I can tell you this. Not turning in applications is going to bet 0. You will not get in.
I'm telling you,
We'll
it's
do
so
that.
good.
I don't
And
wanna apply. I don't think I'm
if
gonna
you
get it.
really look at the people who have succeeded, the people you think have succeeded, if you were
Yeah.
to ask them the questions about, they will tell you that the no's far outweighed the yeses. The mindset can't stay with the no's. We've got to just anticipate one yes. And if we can do that, we can shift
better
our whole
try it.
thinking.
People ask Michael Jordan, how in the world could you play basketball and like that? How did you rack up those stacks? And he said, I shot the ball. He said, I mean, I really did. I shot it more than other people. But aren't you just way more skilled than other people? He was like, well, maybe. But if you watch old basketball, like us, we over the 1900s, right? If you watch it, he shoots. That's why he gets it in more. I'm shooting the ball.
And if you go
I'm
all
gonna
the
throw the
way
ball
back,
toward
you
the
will see
basket.
that Michael Jordan was on his JV team and couldn't even get on the varsity team. You see what I'm saying?
He said, "Oh, you know what I'm gonna do when I get the ball? I'm gonna throw it at the basket. Because if I don't shoot it at the basket, I definitely
It'll
won't make
never
any
go
points."
in. Okay. That's real good. All right. So sometimes we develop mindsets from a place of desiring perfection.
Why do we do it to each other? Why do we do it to ourselves? We
Yes.
desire perfection from ourselves, and sometimes we desire from each other.
I can guarantee if you have a person who's a know-it-all in your life, like they always must be the smartest person in the room. They always have to be the most well presented. They're always concerned about what they present as, right? I can guarantee you that person is picking themselves apart more
Oh,
than
yeah.
they ever pick you apart.
Oh, yeah. Because they're not making room for human variance. And so when you don't make room for human variance, imagine how disappointed you are all the time.
Sis,
You'd have to be so, I mean, if you live among mortals and you are a mortal and not embracing that, you know how disappointed you are every time some mistake is made?
all the time. And see, here's what happens when we desire perfection for self, then we require it for others, and then we are unable to be kind to that person. Start with self. Be kind to yourself
We
first.
lack the empathy. Show yourself a little grace.
You're not perfect.
Show yourself a little
But guess what? We don't
empathy.
want you to be.
Wow. Sometimes the requirements we have for ourselves, you know, in therapy sessions, I just repeat back sometimes what clients are saying, and I'm going, listen to what you're expecting from yourself. You've lost a parent or something. I mean, you know, major things have happened. You're like, well, I should be over it by now. Really?
Why?
You've decided that just this was the, you know, I only needed to grieve for 2 hours. Like, where did you get this
Right.
idea?
Right.
That's how you were supposed to operate. Well, I shouldn't have been. I didn't. I was so disappointed in myself. Wasn't supposed to make any mistakes. Who doesn't?
Mm-mm.
You expected to not be a human being?
Set that perfectionism down.
Please.
That is your first enemy.
It's unkind.
Yep.
It is. It's unkind.
It doesn't
Perfectionism is
allow
not
you to
kind.
have joy.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm. You won't be treating yourself well.
You
or others.
won't get joy from perfect. I can guarantee you
way.
this. Even if you knew the answer to every single
I
thing,
know doing that.
even if you were correct on every single topic that came up, I can guarantee you had no joy in that. And others didn't have it with you.
Nope. You were by yourself. I was writing it alone. I'm dying on this hill.
Right and alone.
I'm just gonna die on this hill. Meanwhile, everybody else at the bottom of the hill partying and having a good time. You up there by
Listen.
yourself, talking about I'm gonna die up here.
Treat
At least I'll
yourself
be right.
and others well, because you're both worth it. They're worth it with all their raggedy flaws.
With
And
every
guess what?
piece of flaw.
You are too,
You-
with all
and
your
still-
raggedy flaws.
And still. But then I did this and still.
Yep.
But then I didn't make this good decision and still. And then I should have done this and still worth it.
All of you. Every one of us.
And
Bless it.
still worth it. Why would you have been created if you were waste?
Ooh.
What?
I can't run it.
Why?
here.
Why would you
Don't
be
do
here?
it.
You just walking the earth a waste. That don't make any sense.
Ooh.
That's not possible.
That's so good.
We didn't cheers.
We sure did.
We should just cheers to some
'Cause
salud.
Some of that, that's real good.
That's real good.
Mm.
Sometimes, now I like this one. Sometimes we develop mindsets because we just don't even know any better. This is some goodness right here. Sometimes sometimes the messages that we got over time were loud and wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes the whole setup, the whole thing that you came to understand about something, the whole thing was wrong. You didn't even know any better.
But because it was all we were exposed to. we thought it was correct.
Listen, misogyny, racism,
Ooh.
homophobia, all of that
Ooh.
comes from you didn't even know any better. Somebody
talking
told
good.
you those people X, Y, and Z. And those people might even include you. You're saying you can't stand a group of people and you're in it. You're in that group.
That's it. That's
You're
it.
part of the group.
Because here's the truth, y'all. If we knew better, we'd do better.
Listen,
That's
we don't even know
We
any
just don't
better.
know.
So then what do we do? You know, like how do we, because I mean, many times you don't know, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Right?
Yes.
But sometimes you have to assume I could not know everything. That's what I know. I know I don't know what I don't know. But what I do know is that I don't know everything.
Yes. So you go out and you seek out the people who do know more than you. Read a book. Something you want to know, go find the person who's an expert on it and
Look
go
for it.
You want to know about joy? Go
Yeah.
find a book written by somebody who studied joy.
Yeah. If you want to know how to survive adverse situations, right? Adversity has come your way. I want to find somebody has. There's some people who found joy, who thrived in the face of adversity.
You should absolutely go out and seek people who have found joy after diversity. Right? Because we're always thinking that we're the only ones that have ever gone through this thing, right? Go and find somebody. I was listening, this was months ago, and I told her all about it. I was listening to Oprah's podcast. I can't remember the name of it, but she had on a woman. Madonna was her first name, and I don't know her last name. She lost every member of her family in a fire.
Oh, I remember you talking about
on
that.
Christmas morning. She lost her father, she lost her mother, and she lost her 3 daughters. Everyone gone in a matter of hours. And she talked about how she was so raw and had to build that thing back. I sat there and listened to her story and I just wept. If she could rebuild her life, let me get up under her. Because anything coming my way.
And I'm over here, tax refund not that high. And I'm like,
right? These are the things, right?
And
right.
I'm not minimizing my,
No.
situation, comparing situations, but that it's something to see someone who went through what you have just described.
Listen.
And said,
you went
can
through
figure out how
what?
to find joy. Wow.
And you're standing in my face talking about
You're
how
alive.
good life is?
Wow.
Oh, let me hurry up and fix myself.
Where did you, let's find it. Again, we don't know what she knows. There's something she tapped into. Let's look for it.
If you knew better, you do better. One of our interns, actually, last week, may he rest in peace, one of the students at CAU was violently killed. And he was a friend of a couple of our interns. And she, I was just checking in. I said, do you need anything? She said, I think I need some advice. I have a friend that isn't quite being there for me the way that I would have expected them to be in a situation like this. And I said, well, here's the truth of the matter. If they knew better, they'd do better. Did you clarify what you need? Because not everybody anticipates this situation the same way. It doesn't mean that they were trying to let you down, trying not to be there for you.
They didn't have the equipment.
But if you hand it to them, then and only then do you know, did they make the choice to be here for me or not? But you jumping the gun too quick. We got to give people some grace. If you knew better, you do better. I believe that. If we went out into the world and just believed that about people.
And just found, but I think there's a way, it's when you're looking for joy though. When you're intentional about looking for joy, you look to find it. There's a book, and I forgot, something like My Son Eric. It's called something like that. And it's this, it's a true story about this woman and her husband. They're very devout Christian, very religious folks. Their son, I think it's My Son Eric or My Son Paul, something like that. He comes out, as gay to his parents. His father is like, nope, I'm you're not part of this family anymore. I no longer have a son. And the mom said, there's no way there's no way that God wants me as much as I have loved this. I carried him.
Yeah.
Every
came through me.
birthday party,
Yeah.
I have loved him. There is no way that that's what God wants, is for me to not have my son, right? Because of this. And so she went through this whole process of going through the Bible herself. She said, I must have misread something. I'm going to find the way that God lets me love my son. There's no way. There's no way I serve a God that's like, yeah, stop loving your son immediately. No. What God we talking about? And she does the work herself. She said, I got to find it. I got to find it.
I don't know better.
I don't know what it is, right? Because she'd always been told certain scriptures, right? But she was like, let me go on through this book myself without people telling me what parts tell me about different people. Let me find it, right, myself. And she found a place to resolve, some of those issues that she had. Now, I mean, I do think it didn't work out well between her and her husband. That might not have happened. But she was dedicated to loving her son. She said, I don't know what you about to do.
She knew better.
I'm about to love
she
my child.
She exposed it to her husband.
What I'm not going to do is
knew
leave
better
my child.
now, and then he refused to do better. That's what happens.
That might have been it.
When you see that somebody knew better and they didn't do better, well, now we got to have a conversation. But most of us are out here not knowing.
Mindset and I have no idea. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's real good. So sometimes we develop mindsets from bad habits.
And the hand is raised.
Hello.
Hello. And I'm hit. You rang. Present.
Governor.
I'm here.
Aye, mate.
Did someone say my name? Hello.
Listen.
You can develop a whole mindset, literally, because remember, mindset's about anything you practice and put effort into is going to become your mindset. So if you put practice and effort into that bad habit, which we all do,
because at some point, this is what happens.
Then it becomes it's the mindset. It's the
initially, you may have known it was bad. You start doing it so much,
you made excuses. You figured out
you
how
start forgetting.
You made room for it.
That I wasn't supposed to do this
Let
thing.
me just room. I wasn't even supposed to be over here doing this. Huh?
Oh. I've been over here a whole 19 months.
You're so used to doing it, right?
Like this.
Having negative, like a negative thinking pattern. It's just a bad habit. It's just something that you do. We've talked about this on previous podcasts. Rebuking and rejecting compliments. That is a bad habit.
Yeah.
You look lovely. No, I don't. Bad habit.
But you've probably done it since you were 5.
Right. And that then has become the basis for your mindset.
Yeah. So what you got to do to get yourself out of that, challenge all of your negative thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them.
Why am I so angry? Why?
When you say something and you know it sounds like this is a poor decision. Now I know better.
Or I wouldn't want somebody else to do it. You got, when you put it out there and I wouldn't want somebody else to say this.
Challenge it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because your negative thoughts are what develops stress and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Your positive thoughts are the ones that develop joy.
Right.
Right?
Right. It's why we attack, if you go to a therapist, we're doing cognitive behavior therapy. That ain't nothing but a mindset and attitude therapy. Right. That's literally what it is. We're challenging those negative thoughts and replacing those with more positive thoughts. That then translates into more positive behaviors and depression and anxiety decrease.
Yep. Because negative thoughts do not help you prepare. I was just thinking about this earlier.
That didn't get you ready.
That didn't get you ready for
Stressing about
anything.
a test has not gotten
Stressing.
You're not performing any better on the
test. Get you anywhere. I'm gonna tell you what prepares you is uncertain thoughts. Well, this could go either way.
Either way.
So let me prepare for both of those ways. I'm not attaching a feeling to either of those ways, but let me get ready for both.
Yeah. If you're like, this is going to be terrible, you're ill prepared. You think that's preparing you. Remember, people think that's preparing. If I have if I have extremely low expectations, it's gonna be terrible, then I'll be prepared for the terrible.
Yeah.
There are 3 billion other possibilities you have left behind.
That you didn't
If
even
you just
consider.
went into it like, I'm just going to be open, this could go either way. You are far more prepared than doomsday thinking.
Yes. So some things that you can do. Again, this is not toxic positivity here that we're talking about, but train yourself to expect the good. Expect it.
Expect it.
You may have to shift what you think of as good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I consider, like we talked about last week, whether I get this job or not, it's going to be good for me in some way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got to consider what you're thinking of as good, but train yourself to believe in the good, because whether it happens or not, you stay in that state of joy.
Listen, when you stay, people who stay in that negative space don't even recognize the positive that well, right? Something positive happens, they think it's a one-off, a fluke. Yeah. They double down on something. No, that's probably not even what that was.
Right.
You won. I'm
what,
telling
what
you
won for that?
No, I probably didn't even win. Something
Why
else
you
happened.
Giving me that?
I don't. Man. You're trying to fix. You're trying to fool me, and you're trying to trick me. Come on, man. Right.
No, I just want you to win.
What would life be like if we expected the good and we considered something a negative outcome?
I'm looking for a miracle.
Come on.
I expect the impossible.
What is it?
I feel the intangible. I see the invisible.
I'm looking for a miracle.
Hey, I expect the impossible.
I feel the intangible. I see the invisible. The sky is the limit to what I can have.
Hey, come on.
The sky is the limit to what I can have.
Hey.
Just believe and receive it. God will perform it today. Hey, hey, just believe and receive it. God will perform it today.
Hey.
We're going to sing this for the rest of the night. We're going to turn this podcast off.
I expect a miracle.
We're going to be we're going to be going in parts. I'm looking for a miracle. We're going to be on soprano, altos, the 2 of us. They're going to be 5 or 6 parts talking to ourselves. Go altos! Talking to ourselves. The sky. The sky is the limit. The sky.
We going, listen, all night long. We'll just be here. That's fine.
Listen, I forgot about that song. That's good.
Listen,
the sky is the
one.
limit to what I can have.
To what I can have. Just believe and receive
what? Just receive it. Just believe
God
it.
will
It's coming.
performeth.
What?
Today. Listen, I will shout off through here.
I'm looking for the miracle.
I'm expecting the impossible.
I know people say that's impossible. I actually expect that to happen. What?
That's
come on. That's the funny thing is that our life is filled with miracles.
The intangible. I see
the invisible. Your life is filled with them. Your life is filled with them.
That thing is so good.
Going through cancer and several other things. I had a baby at like 200 years old. You know what I mean? I am like 1,000 and like having a fully healthy pregnancy. What a miracle. I mean, there's so many ways. Just take a second sometimes in your life and say, why do I have such a negative mindset when I have just survived so many things?
I had a pulmonary embolism. 3 months later, one of our friends had a pulmonary embolism and died. Listen.
You came out the hospital. We were at the party.
I went from that's not hyperbole.
That's not hyperbole. We cut that little thing off your arm.
I went from the hospital to the High Museum.
Got our first Fridays on.
Okay.
I did tell you to sit down.
I couldn't breathe, but
It was hot,
but
you
I
were
was
still
there. I was counted in the
you
neighborhood.
looked fabulous.
Listen,
You
I was fine. I
you
was
had
fine
quite
that
an
night.
outfit.
Oh, I was.
like, you better
listen.
come. This is your post-hospital outfit.
Oh,
You better
okay.
give us post-hospital.
I was giving it to the people. Listen,
Yeah, we expected a miracle,
and we got it.
and we got it.
Oh, I'll get to crying. We got to move on. Listen.
Listen.
Sometimes we develop negative mindsets because it's all we.
I've said
See.
this before. Change that algorithm.
Yeah. That's real. And for some of us,
Change
we
what
don't even
you're
know that we're in the
seeing.
algorithm that is showing us nothing but just despair.
Mhm.
And you know what? I know someone who they constantly watch the news. They watch news channels all day, every day. And then that's all they want to discuss with me. And I'm like, child.
Did you hear what happened? 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 Are you about to counter some of this with some wonderful things that happen?
Right. But here's the difference. I get my news pops
Killing
up on my phone. What I choose to engage with, I
Yeah.
read it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm done with it.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to this is what I'm going to look at all throughout.
It's my only
my day.
input.
Because then that's all I believe in.
Then my mindset is stuck.
There we go. You have
Yeah.
to visualize joy.
Yeah.
What do I look like? Close your eyes right now.
Mm-hmm.
All y'all out, and I swear to God,
Literally.
close your
right
eyes
now.
right
Mhm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you look like with joy
Just joyous.
all over you? If you are struggling right now, let's create it.
I have so many thoughts. I'm only not struggling.
Baby, when I say this week.
I going for I have people do that when they're thinking about what's the right career path. I'm always like, just close your eyes and think about, don't think about, this is not possible for me, right? Expect the impossible. My favorite, what would you be doing? What time would you wake up? What kind of office would you go to an office at all?
Good. That's
What would be the
good.
population
details.
that you would see? Just
Yep.
really the details. What would just bring you joy?
Down to the minutia of your day.
Right.
Yeah.
Now let's pursue a career there. Now
Ah.
you're being led to what you're supposed to do instead of, I thought I was supposed to be a business major because I was supposed to be a business major. You know what I mean? Like,
You got to
gotta,
see it.
mhm. You have to kind of, what we think are our wildest dreams could actually be our blueprints if we let them. If we let them. Instead of thinking like, wow, that's a fantasy, you're out there. That actually could be a map.
Because you will get what you expect.
You gonna get what you expect.
So if you expect
Yes.
this wild dream,
Mm-hmm.
you finna get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna walk right up to you. It's gonna bite you.
Mm-hmm. If you only expect the negative thing,
It'll show up at your doorstep.
there you are. And then you're kind of proving it to yourself. Like, see, I told you it was going to be that way. You made it so.
You'll say that to yourself. You'll say that to
You
everyone.
made it so.
See, I told y'all that something bad was
I
gonna
told you
happen.
something bad was going to
What
happen.
if you told us something good was
Yep.
gonna happen?
Look at the people who live that way, though. Take a second. I mean, really, honestly, look at the people who live that way. These are the people that just find $20 in their pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
These are the folks who just like, I wasn't worried about
something
that.
just always happens correctly
Yep.
for them. You ever wonder
Stuff
why?
just works out.
They didn't have a different situation from you. It was just here.
Yep. They see their situations differently.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to get you to a place of a positive mindset,
Please,
right?
thank you.
So the characteristics associated with a positive mindset. First and foremost, we see it all the time, optimism,
Mm-hmm.
a willingness to make an effort and take a chance instead
Mm-hmm.
of assuming your efforts won't pay off. The glass
Yeah.
is half full or half
Mhm.
empty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which one we gonna ride with?
Let's stop hating on optimism too. I mean, we kind of, it's not juvenile. It's not immature. It's not this person's blind to the way the
It's
real
not
world
unrealistic.
works.
Yeah.
Get out of here with all of that. Right? What is wrong with having an optimistic, view? This idea that nobody's gonna get me. Yeah, they will. If they're gonna get you, they're gonna get you. So why don't you might as well,
And if
having a
not, you'll find the
pessimistic
other
view, right?
optimistic
Or
people.
you'll find the other optimistic person to communicate with. This idea that optimism somehow reflects poor character or silliness or whatever that is, we've got to abandon that.
That thing is a high standard. My favorite
That's what
restaurant
that is
the Optimist. High standard, high quality food at that Joker, right? That's what optimism is.
They serve little vaginas just for appetizers. You can have a little vagina over in the bar area. You can get like a sandwich and like a little split of and this is a row of little vaginas in them. They can be cold. They can be spicy. They can be room temperature vaginas. All of that happens at the Optimist.
My favorite restaurant. No, I am not coming out, y'all. I just want you to know. However, I just really love
Oysters,
the Optimist.
That's what they look like.
Cannot right now.
They are slimy. I mean, it's the same. The Optimist. It's like just a shack, a vagina shack. Some people are going to go thinking that some people are going to. It's a little old place where we can get some oysters. Vagina shack, baby. Vagina shack, baby.
Vagina shack. Vagina shack.
Vagina, baby. That's where it's at, Jack.
There's no one else that will do this. I don't know a single person on this earth that would go into vagina shack. I don't know of a single.
At the vagina shack. Someone's gonna go to the Optimist. The Optimist is gonna tweet, "Thank you for the shout out," just so that everyone knows. It is not a brothel. It is not a place where sex work takes place. It is not. No, it is a seafood restaurant.
Excellent seafood. Oh God, that was so good.
That's good.
Okay.
Next,
the next characteristic.
Optimism,
yes.
Acceptance.
Acceptance.
Acknowledging that things are not always going to turn out the way that you want them to. I actually take it, all the way. I'm accepting. I know they won't, and that I'm not the expert on how they should turn out anyway. So when it doesn't turn out the way that I want it to, that's probably a good thing because what do I know?
Ooh.
Why do I think I have that level of expertise where my design is so perfect? It better go the exact way I've planned it or it'll be crap.
Or else.
What?
Who are you saying or else to?
Who are you talking
to? Or else what?
Or else what?
I'm
gonna have a bad attitude and mindset.
Or else I'm just gonna be mad for the rest of
Why?
Okay.
Why? I have you got to accept that you're going to learn from your mistakes. They will happen. I might make one. No, you will make one. You will make one.
Absolutely will.
I might fall. You will fall. You will fall. Let's learn from it. How are we going to pick ourselves up?
And moving right into the next one, resilience.
Yep.
People with a positive mindset have resilience.
Yeah.
They bounce back from adversity, disappointment, and failure instead of giving up.
Sometimes small children really have this resilience. You got to watch them.
The
They just try, Zuri's definitely like that. I tried it, I tried something else. And then that didn't work, so I tried a different one. And then if I didn't work, I guess I'm just not doing that one. I'll go over here and do this. She has like no attachment to the thing not working.
This is why small children are so much more creative in their thinking.
So well at night.
They give their all.
That's why they forgive quickly.
Oh, I didn't succeed? Oh, let me go try that again. They keep going because they're not burdened with all of the possibility of pain.
I shouldn't have done right. All the thinking, the punishing.
I'm gonna just keep going. Wild as it is.
So this next one's really important. It's actually one of our larger principles. We're going to, the way we've done connection and belonging and attitude and mindset, we're going to talk about, gratitude in a larger way. But gratitude is really, it's actively and really being consciously appreciating the good things that are in your life. This is not a way of minimizing the things that hurt. I do think sometimes when people kind of immediately you're going through something like, well, be grateful for what you have. That is not what we're saying here. This is an actual exercise to pull you from out of a negative mindset.
Yeah.
Right? Take a second and say, I honor the place and the pain of this particular experience while also honoring all of the places where I've been blessed, also honoring all of the places where I've grown, and actually looking back and honoring the places where I thought this was going to be a negative thing and it actually flowers grew from it. Now let me look at this. It's about changing that mindset. Remember, that's what we're talking about here. Now let me look at this thing that I just thought was my just scourge. You know what I'm saying? This is my punishment. And now that I've done some gratitude exercises, maybe it changes the way I think about this thing.
Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, gangsta white walls,
TV antenna
in the back, in the back, in the back.
You may not have a car at all.
Oh. Just remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Come on.
Just be thankful for what you got. Aye. Ow.
Diamond in the back, sun rooftop, living the scene of a gangster lean. Ooh. That's it. That's it.
We really have song Tourette's today. Because it brings us joy.
That
it brings us joy.
Listen.
Busting into song like that, like we're on Zoe's playlist.
Absolutely. brings us absolute joy.
It brings us joy. And we know that we can't do this podcast without being genuine. If we were just like, we can't be on here faking about joy.
If we were just
the next joy principle.
And if you want to learn about attitude and mindset,
no, we're showing it. No. I'll show you what we do. No. This may not be your thing. Get your thing. What's your thing you going to bust out and do, and it's going to bring you joy in a moment?
Because we're going to bust out and
We're going to bust out on song.
Every chance we
Stop
get.
it. I'm teaching class sometimes, just bust out in songs.
That is correct.
And the older I get, actually, the more they don't know the songs, which actually just makes it funnier.
Fine. That's fine. Or they be like, oh, yeah, but my grandmama used to say.
Pretty soon.
That's fine.
Pretty soon, that's what they'll say.
Okay. Another characteristic, consciousness and mindfulness. I know this sounds a little frou-frou. And it's really not, y'all.
That was deep and smoky.
It's dedicating the mind to conscious awareness and enhancing the ability to focus. Y'all, stay in the moment. Just stay right here. If you can't, if you struggle, it's because the moment doesn't feel good. Let's find out why.
But doing too much in the past can cause depression. Right?
Doing too much in the future causes anxiety.
Yeah.
Stay right here.
What am I doing right now? Let me savor this moment. Even if it feels like a negative moment.
Yep.
Because then it won't keep on haunting you later on. Give it its due. Right? What am I doing right now? You know what really makes people feel overwhelmed is that they're not kind of being conscious of what they're doing in the moment. So you have, you just have so much to do. You have so much work to do. All you do is sit up and think about all the work you have to do instead of right in this moment, why not do one of the tasks? Why don't I
actually do
the
thing?
Instead of being overwhelmed by my to-do list, why not cross something off?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That sounds so easy, but you have to tell your mind, we're not doing all of that right now.
Yeah.
We're not processing all of those things. Well, you know what
it is when we talk about consciousness and mindfulness, it's not just staying all up in here, y'all. It's getting down in here too. It's getting in the body. Let's actually do the thing. Right? Instead of thinking of all of the things I've got to do, let me pick up the pen. Let me pull out the computer. Let me do the actual thing. Yeah.
And if it's just one of it, you'll feel great about doing the one.
Yeah.
Yep. Stay there. All right. Integrity. It's a trait of being honorable, righteous, and straightforward instead of deceitful and self-serving. Right? So this can be a tricky place. I think I've had problems with integrity before. Right? I'm just gonna be honest with you. I really have. And I think the deceitfulness was always worried that I was gonna be judged. Right? I was
Mm.
constantly worried that people were gonna judge me. So I would hide things that I was doing. This was bothersome in two ways. One,
Mm.
many times I was over, over analyzing the judgment, thinking that somebody is going to just really come down on me like, oh, aren't you a terrible person?
Yeah.
That's that perfectionism, wanting to appear perfect, and you don't anyway. Everybody looking like you ain't. We don't think you perfect anyway, but go off. You know, right?
You were the only person
Only
in this
one
room
thinking
that
that.
thought
Yep. So you
you
might as
were
well just let it
perfect.
go. That was
Yeah.
one. But two, let's say I was doing something that needed some correction. Who saw it in order to help me fix it?
Oh.
I'm so busy hiding it.
Ooh. This the pride that I have right now listening to
I
her.
said, I'm so busy hiding it. Nobody could even come in and say, you know what, sis, you might not want to do that. You might, this thing is, you on low joy vibration in this thing right here. I could keep a thing a secret. I've been in a whole secret relationship.
Low joy vibration. I got a song for anything, y'all.
Oh, God. I'm trying to tell you. But I mean, being really great at hiding. I didn't want people to come in my house if it looked messy. Don't come over. Because I
Come
want you to
right
see how
in
this
here.
looks. Right?
You'll see that pile of crumbs that I got on the floor that I swept over there. These dead plants in the corner. You'll see all of it.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to tell you, I
Because
hide a
it's
whole
me.
relationship. I hide a whole man. What you did Friday? I was chilling. You kind of mentioned that you went to go see. Who'd you go see? What's wrong with? Oh, I just went like some friends.
Start trailing off.
Right? I know. A whole boo. Why you hide it? If it has to be hidden.
If it has to be hidden, don't do.
If it has to be hidden,
that's a whole separate.
right. But that notion of just be honorable, be straightforward and be just wear it. You know what I mean? This is what I've done. You know what I mean? This is what I'm doing.
It is.
Right?
Listen.
There's honor in the truth.
This is so good, y'all. This is so good. Are y'all getting this?
I hope so, because we getting it. If nobody else,
if nobody else, I'm gonna walk away from this.
2 people getting it right.
We getting it right now. Listen,
2 people are about to get it.
This is so good. So y'all, to wrap up, really think about how your mindset has been developed, and if it is not healthy, if it is not good, if it is not positive, let's start doing the work to fix it, to change it, to make it so that it works to your benefit. Because you're worthy. We're all worthy.
You're worthy. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's still happening.
Great is the joy, John. You're worthy to be praised.
Great is the joy to be praised.
Listen, I could be here all night.
All night.
All night. We are going to roll on out with our joy journal. Listen, this one, if you're listening to this with children in the car, just turn it down a little bit, because this language. Lyrics. Yeah, somebody got real happy in what they wanted to share with us, and I let it go.
You can feel the passion.
You can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it. Okay.
Now every word is good. It's Tourette syndrome.
I know. Okay, so this is an unknown person. They sent this random message to us. Y'all little Joy RX podcast is a fucking delight. I'm so grateful for it. Also, y'all gonna make me believe in coaching. Because I feel like it is largely bullshit for people who want to give advice but don't want to work and train. So they take a 2-week multi-level marketing style course on snake oil prep and prey on the vulnerable.
There is some of that now. Let's not say that doesn't exist.
But y'all got training and degrees and good sense. So if y'all think coaching is a thing, it must really be a thing. Y'all,
It's
we
a
really
thing.
we really do believe that
It's a
coaching
thing, and
is
it can
a
really-
thing.
it
That
can
is what
really
this whole
make a
thing is
difference.
about. We are your joyologists. We are your joy coaches. We want you to come and partake in our services, our individual services. Because what we do, this here is very general. We want to get to the heart
Yeah.
of where you have struggled with joy, and we want to develop your own
We
personal
curate a plan for you.
joy plans.
Mhm.
So just putting that out there. I just love this. This tickled me. So I
Y'all love
wanted
Joy
to,
RX
even though
podcast.
the language got a little, got a little much. I just felt like y'all would appreciate that.
So this next one is from an old friend of mine, Adrian, and it's a conglomeration. He wrote several messages, right? And I kind of put them together into one because he was going in different directions. But this is what he said to us. He said, "I am enjoying," and he put joy in capitals in the middle. "I'm enjoying these therapy sessions." Right? He was very poignant in particular about calling them therapy sessions. "You all literally had me over here trying to get my attitude and mindset together. Driving this truck at night is not what I thought I'd be doing, but you got me listening at work, thinking differently about it." And I won't put him on blast, but he's been working through, looking back over his life, and choices, and is this what I thought I'd be doing at this stage and whatnot? And he's like, "Gosh, you're really making me think though about the take I have on my life and and what's happening in my world right now." And that's what we want.
Yep.
We want to impact people positively and make them think differently about how they're living and just get some joy. We deserve it.
All of us.
It's a right.
Yes.
It's your right to have joy.
Joy is there's a poem out. Look for it. Joy is the justice we deserve.
It's the justice we deserve. We are being unjust to one another, to ourselves when we live without joy.
Come on. So thank you for joining us in our season of attitude and mindset.
And we want you, of course, to join the Joy John camp. Please be part of our Joy Revolution. Please be part of the Joy Johns and join us next time.
By the time you read this line, Joy John.
We'd love to hear your stories about joy and how the podcast and joy movement are meaningful to you. Please submit to the Joy Journal at info@thejoyrxwebsite.com.
And please follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at The Joy RX, and on Twitter and YouTube at The Real Joy RX.
If you love what you hear and see on this podcast, love us, and love joy, please rate, like, subscribe, follow, and share.
And if you want to get some fancy joy merch, letting everyone know you are part of the Joy RX movement, go to shopjoyrx.com.
Thank you for joining us.